Hey everyone, welcome back to another Diablo movie review. I know it's been a minute. I've been pretty busy between work, the World Cup songs. I've been trying to watch some of that, and also I got a new kitten who I believe will make an appearance at some point named Django after Django Fett, and he's been taking up a lot of my time, so it's been hard to get to the movie and also record a video. There he is. Say hi to Django. Cute little guy. Um, so he might make a little noise, so ignore him or don't. Up to you guys. He's just so cute, so little cute. But yeah, it's been hard to find time to do movies and sit down and make a movie review. But we're back. I saw a couple movies, so I will be posting this one for Disclosure Day, and then one for Toy Story, probably back to back. But yeah, we're talking about Disclosure Day today. Steven Spielberg's latest film. Steven Spielberg's my personal directing goat. Um, you know, I think he's the greatest filmmaker in history. Indiana Jones, Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., Encounter the Third, banger after banger after banger, like just absolute all-time classics. Like he is an absolute master of his craft. Um, I don't think, people can have preferences of, Scorsese, Tarantino, Hitchcock, Kubrick, but for me, no one can top Spielberg. He is by far and away the best director in my opinion. But Disclosure Day. So this stars Josh O'Connor, Coleman Domingo, and Colin Firth. Is kind of back to uh, I don't want to say his roots, but his roots as far as like a genre where he has aliens, which is kind of where Spielberg started a lot, and whether it's Indiana Jones and Crystal Kingdom of Crystal Skull or Cows of Their Kind, he has a lot of history with this like alien, like adventure kind of uh, genre that I guess in a lot of ways you could say he kind of created. Um, but yeah, I was very much looking forward to this movie. I look forward to any of his films, and I went into it very excited. The word of mouth and reviews were pretty good, so I had high expectations or high hopes, I should say. Um, and yeah, I sat down, saw it at the Disney Springs AMC in Dolby, packed crowd, good atmosphere, and the film was very like good for about nine. I want to say honestly, the film was great for like 95% of the film. Like it really just drops you right into the story, right? There's no build up. There's no kind of like I want to say exposition. It's just you're in this story, which is really not even. I think it was marketed as like this alien, you know, return to again the roots type deal with Spielberg, but it's really kind of secondary where it's really more of a like a spy thriller movie with some like sci-fi elements. But yeah, it just drops you right in. You're kind of just like trying to figure out as it goes, and you kind of start getting details as the plot progresses. But I was very much engaged. I thought there was a lot of interesting components, a lot of interesting storylines. I thought the acting and characters were very intriguing, and like I was looking forward and excited to learn more about their motivations, like the connections, like what's going on, why do Emily Blunt's character and Josh Connor have this like connection and stuff. And it was a lot of build up and build up and build up. And like I said, 95% of the movie, you're just like in there for the ride. You're like having a great time. And you're like it's like doing 100 miles per hour. Your hair's down on the freeway. You're just having the best time. And then all of a sudden you freaking smash into a wall and just comes to a complete halt. The ending to this film, and I don't want to I will probably I'll do like spoilers here in a second. I'll make like a cutoff for when I'm going to do spoilers. But the ending to this film was so jarring that it was like, oh my gosh, like this is it. Like what the hell? Um it like again, I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad, but I personally did not enjoy that ending. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat or kind of defend Spielberg, even though again he's an amazing director and I think the film is very good. I can't defend every decision. I won't, and I just can't. I can't find myself coming uh, to appreciate the ending. And maybe over time, maybe I have to rewatch it to kind of appreciate it more. But I felt like the ending was way too jarring and out of left field. Or I don't know if out of left field is the right word, but it was so sudden, and I felt it kind of did a disservice to what had been built up and kind of set up previously throughout the film. And I think the crowd was also in kind of a state of disbelief when the film ended. And I think it's a mixed bag. I can see why some people maybe wouldn't recommend this. I heard some people like maybe not recommending this to. Oh, I would still recommend. I would recommend like almost every movie that you should go out and check it for yourself, form your own opinion. And I think going out to the movies is just a good time. But I can certainly see why some people would suggest not checking this film out. Uh, it was quite an odd creative decision. And I'll leave it at that until I talk about spoilers. But beyond that, I think the acting was very well done. I thought Josh O'Connor was really good. Colin Firth was really good. Emily Blunt, I think, was the best performance of the film. Coleman Domingo, he was good in his secondary role. I think I would have liked maybe a little more expanded backstory on his character and his connection to Colin Firth's character, which they hinted at, and they kind of have some back and forth. But I feel like maybe there was some meat on the bone they left as far as like that relationship. Um, but yeah, I think the script maybe it wasn't the strongest like Steven Spielberg script, but I think it was good overall. There's like a secondary villain henchman to Colin Firth, like his second command, who I apologize, I can't recall the actor's name off the top of my head, but his motivation and I guess I would say the quote unquote like antagonist villain motivation isn't really clear to me. I mean, and this isn't spoiled from the trailer. It's like a lot of it. It's saying like society isn't ready for like the truth of extraterrestrials being like actual, real beings that have interacted with our world. Um, but the actions they take and like their stance of being so against full disclosure, it comes about a like it comes at us like I feel like a little hollow. Like I felt like they were going to expand and explain why they have such a staunch position and why they are so against this and why they're taking such drastic actions to, um, you know, chase down our characters and make sure this doesn't go out to the world. Um, just felt like there was meat left on the bone. I felt like there should have maybe been a little more expansion on that. Not that it was bad, but just maybe a little more. I almost want to say a little more exposition on why they are the way they are. But now we're gonna just quickly jump into spoilers. So spoilers now. The ending. What the hell was that? Like you built up all this, you know, character storyline between Josh O'Connor's character and Emily Blunt's character and the connection and that this link they formed as children by the aliens who appear to them as animals, which also an interesting tidbit. Also, why did the aliens pick these two children specifically? I don't know. Maybe it's because the children are innocent and more able to like accept new things. Maybe that's why. Um, but why end it right there? With the alien whispering something to Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor, and then Emily Blunt turning to the camera and being like, listen up, this is what they're saying, and then just ending it right there. Like we built up all this, and I was interested. I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to what are they going to say? And then it just ends, black screen, done. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what was that? I also have some questions about the alien itself. I know they kind of referenced that one of them escaped. Colvin Domingo's character helped it like escape years ago. Where were they keeping it? Why is this organization that was tracking down Josh O'Connor character and had pretty good success doing it, not able to, track down this alien that's been, I guess, loose for a couple of years now. Um, Also, from the found footage, the aliens in the found footage are, you know, like up to the height of like my waist or my belly button, and yet the alien at the end is taller than both our titular characters. So, are there different aliens? Is it the same aliens and he just grew, or like I'm not quite sure what that was about. Um, just a little odd in that sense. Yeah, and again, I don't know why the antagonists are so against like the full disclosure. They take drastic measures, but then they don't ever like actually kill anyone, like or actually kill anyone or do anything. And they have this relationship with the government, and it seems like if they really wanted it to end, they probably would have used more lethal methods or more extreme methods. So I don't know. It felt like they were like almost like half-hearted, trying to not go full disclosure. Um, and again, there was a lot of like backstory that they hint at without fully explaining, like the devices they use and how Colin Firth the first time he used it almost like died, and it's very dangerous. Um, so again, there's a lot of like pieces they don't really elaborate on, which I think is okay, to an extent. But I think in this case, I would have liked maybe a little more explanation on some of these items. And also, throughout this story, it's all happening with the backdrop of World War III happening, and between like North Korea and like Russia and the U.S. Um, because they keep popping up on the news and stuff. And I thought maybe the aliens would have something to do with it, like some kind of like connection between World War III and this plot for finding the devices and the alien intel and stuff like that. And there really wasn't. So even at the end when the news feed, and speaking of when they were like showcasing the news feeds and all that, I thought that was well done. I actually found myself being a little emotional about it. I actually don't even know why I was emotional about it, but I found myself being a little emotional when they were going through all those clips and showing the public through the news stations uh like the aliens are real and stuff. But I was also thinking like, man, they showed soldiers looking at the cameras, like looking at the phones when it was happening, but I was like, still feels like World War Three would happen. I don't know if this would prevent World War Three. Like, it seems like they were still gonna fight, and I don't think the North Koreans or the Russians are particularly watching American news, and so I don't know if they would have stopped their attack or anything. Um, but I just thought it was kind of weird having this World War Three backdrop to the film because it really never played, I feel like, a role in the plot. So they could have just not had that, and I don't think it would have changed anything all that drastically. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just think again there was just uh, some additional maybe 15 minutes they could have added to this film to really like hammer home or nail home this film because again you're like it's a great like thriller throughout and you're interested in what's happening to these characters and what this is all building towards and then it just kind of really falls like flat. You just see the alien, it's revealed to the news, and they're about to say something, and then the movie ends like black screen, which is just kind of a crazy choice in my opinion. But yeah, I would still give this film not its Spielberg's best or strongest outing, but I would still give it like a 3 out of 5. I still enjoyed it overall. The ending again really left a kind of sour taste in my mouth, but it didn't take from the fact that I enjoyed the first hour 45 minutes of this film. Um, so yeah, Disclosure Day. Go check it out. Let me know what you think, and have a good one.